Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. We're going to slow it down today. Just get a nice soul session in for this Sunday morning. So, just grounding down on your mat, taking deep breaths all the way into the belly, and releasing to exhale everything out. Deep breath in, exhale out. One more time. Deep breath in and exhale out. Bring our hands to heart center. Gently bow our heads. Give thanks to the sages, the rishis, the yogis who came before us to share this practice. Pay our respects to Indigenous landowners and elders, past, emerging, and present, and give thanks to God, Divine, Mother Nature, your higher consciousness, whatever you may call it, for bringing you safely to your mat this morning. We'll open the practice by chanting Om, so taking a deep inhale. Om. So the intention for today is to show a little bit of love to ourselves and compassion. Had a big week of learning new things, big week of work, big week of whatever life has thrown at you this week. And we're just going to take it down a notch, get nice and grounded, release what doesn't serve us. So we're going to start off by coming onto our backs and laying in reclined butterfly. If you have a pillow or a block or a bolster or something like that, you can also lay on that. Or a big squishy cat also works. Or you can just lay straight onto the back, laying all the way down, opening up the arms, dropping the knees down, and just surrendering to a moment of peace here. Allowing any thoughts to float by, imagining that they aren't tethered to anything, but just floating by like clouds in the sky. Concentrating on breathing all the way into the belly. Inhaling for counts of 4. And exhaling for a count of 6. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. If this is a bit much on your hips, having the knees dropped out like this, you can place some books or pillows underneath the knees just to support them a little bit more. Just allowing ourselves to be still, silencing the mind. Bhagavati says, if you quiet the mind, the soul will speak. Stepping into our Ujjayi breath now, restricting that throat, breathing all the way in. And breathing out. Just listening to your breath, like waves of the ocean, light constriction of that throat, like you're trying to fog up a bathroom mirror. When we're so intent on being mindful of our breath, it makes it a lot harder for unwanted thoughts to enter our minds. Practicing that 4 and 6 breath, allowing it to cycle through you, sounding like the waves of the ocean, lapping up to the sand, heading back out to sea. Feeling every bit of your body connecting with the mat, the pillow, or the bolster. Just melting completely into the earth. A couple more breaths here, your own time. Our yin series allows us to get the full benefits of the posture by holding it for a longer amount of time. Teaches us to just slow it down, still the mind, still the body, but still releasing all that deep fascia, tendons, ligaments, allowing your larger muscles to just release. Gently closing the knees like a book, rolling over to your side, and gently pushing yourself up. We're going to come into our seated deer fold. So placing your right leg out in front, the shin parallel with the mat, then taking your left leg out to the side. That shin is parallel the other side of your mat. So it's kind of like a box sit. You want to try and sit evenly on your hips, pulling the flesh out from underneath you. Sitting up nice and tall. Maybe grabbing your bolster in front of you or just going to the floor. So we inhale here. And then exhale, gently fold over that front leg. If you don't have a pillow or anything, maybe just using your hands. Or just melting all the way down to the floor. Deep breaths here. Allowing the muscles in the right glute, the right hip to release, while the inner rotation of the left thigh allows the muscles of the groin and the hips to just melt into the mat. These forward folds give us time for introspection, not looking at anything else around us, just taking a moment to look within. Trying to breathe through any thoughts or judgments, Dan Millman says you don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you. We all get into moments and spins where we think I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough. But just know that you are enough. Only you're telling yourself these things. Those thoughts will come, they will intrude in on your peace, but you do not have to listen to them. Take the power back, the control back of your own mind. You do not have to listen to these negative things your brain sometimes tells you. Breathing all the way into that hip, the spine. And see if you can melt just a little bit more, releasing a little bit more tension. Notice if you're tensing in any parts of your body. And just let it release. Really focusing on our deep inhales and our smooth exhales. One more here. And exhale. Gently pressing into our hands, lifting ourselves up. We're going to place that left leg on top of the right for our fire log. Pointing the toes forward. Inhaling here. And exhaling, folding forward. Again, maybe using the pillow, the bolster, book, whatever you need to give you that little bit more height if you're a bit tight. And as we're in this pose, we're going to tap into our Brahmari breath, so our humming bee breath. So when we inhale, nice and deep as normal, but as we exhale, we hum. So it stimulates our vagus nerve, opens our throat chakra. So it's just So we're going to do 3 rounds of that breath, just to really focus on that vibration in your head, letting go of the tension in your hips. So take a deep breath in. And just returning to your normal breath. Noticing if you are able to melt a little bit more forward over those legs. or if the humming was able to distract you from the release in the legs, because it can be quite strong. So, toning, humming, all of that is really good. We're just regulating our nervous system when we're getting in our heads or just getting too amped up. Humming it out can really calm us down. Gently pushing into those hands. Going back up nice and tall. We'll set up for deer pose on the other side. So the left leg goes in front of us, parallel to the mat. Right leg out to the side, finding that little box sit. Sitting up nice and tall. You can already feel that my right is a lot tighter. Inhaling here. And exhale, melting to fold over. Don't worry if you haven't mastered being able to quiet your mind yet, especially if yin is a new practice for you. It can be quite jarring, maybe even boring to some because it's just in the one position for so long. But it's actually so important to our bodies, our minds, our nerves. And it's a practice in stillness, especially in this day and age. We never just give our times to be still without distraction and to be just with our own thoughts, our own mind. Poses can be quite strong as well, especially in our hips and back. But it's just a nice reminder to find comfort in the uncomfortable. So Kristen Law says, growth is uncomfortable because you've never been there before. So just know, if you just don't recognize little parts of yourself now, or you seem to be moving forward, or starting a new chapter, beginning again, yeah, it is uncomfortable, but it's not like going to be like that the whole time. Continuing to breathe all the way into the belly. One more breath here. Exhale to release. Gently pushing into the palms and setting up for fire log on the other side. Right foot over left, toes pointing, sitting up nice and tall. You're kind of grounding your hips down with the pressure on your knees. Deep inhale all the way up, nice and tall. And exhale, folding forward. Once again, we'll go to that Brahmari breath for 3 rounds, just to allow ourselves to melt into this posture even more. So taking a deep breath in. Mm. Mm. Just returning to your normal breath. If you weren't able to fold forward, maybe you're still up here. That's totally fine. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. Gently pushing up. We're just going to put our legs out in front of us and windscreen wipe side to side very gently. And then coming to stillness. From here, we'll move into our tabletop. And we're going to go into our dragon pose. So, taking the right foot, stepping it outside of the mat, a little bit wider of the mat, toes pointing diagonally. We're going to inhale here. And then exhale if you can, coming down onto your elbows or the block, maybe placing the pillow underneath you. This is quite a strong pose. Breathing all the way into that hip. If it's too intense, just bring it back a bit. We're always just trying to find the edge of that discomfort, trying to grow a little bit deeper into the pose, but we never want to be in pain. Deep breath in and exhale to release. It seems counterintuitive. When these poses feel quite strong, it can feel painful. But this is one of the best things we can do if we are in pain. So, back pain, period pain, emotional pain, even. Get yourself into a yin practice. Push past that discomfort until you find release. Couple more rounds of breath here. Gently pushing into those hands. Now you're going to slide that foot over to the left, setting up for your half pigeon. So that back leg directly behind you. You can have your ankle up to your wrist, or maybe down a bit, finding what works for you. Inhaling here, and exhale, gently folding over that leg. Just finding a way where you're comfortable enough to just melt into the pose. You don't want to think of it as fighting the stiffness, but just pulling back, pulling away, and then exhaling to release a little bit deeper. So you might just be moving a millimeter at a time, inhaling here and exhaling until you're slowly finding yourself down on the mat. May not happen today, may not happen next week, but if you keep practicing, it will happen. Finding your own breath here, maybe tapping into Brahmari, your humming bee breath, or your Ujjayi breath, your ocean's breath. Or maybe you're just focusing on the count of 4 and 6. When you're ready, gently walking over to the left, inhaling here and exhaling down a little bit more. You carry peace within you. Remember to come back to it. Find that sanctuary inside you. As you inhale, gently walking back to the center. And we're going to move into our half frog. So we're taking that right leg out to the side of the mat, shin becoming parallel with the mat as well. It's like you're opening up that hip. I'll show you from the front. And then you're just sinking down, pointing the right toes out to the right side and melting your body all the way into the mat. You can rest your head or your left cheek on your hands, on the mat. Just completely surrender here. This stretch may feel strong to you, or it may not feel like anything at all. Just a moment of surrender, allowing the hips and the spine to recalibrate after our dragon and our pigeon. Really noticing all parts of your body that are connecting to the mat. Releasing tension from your face, from your shoulders, Maybe even paying attention to your oral hygiene, so where your tongue is situated in your mouth. Maybe just dropping it away from the roof of the mouth, allowing everything to completely relax. One more inhale and exhale here. When you're ready, pushing into your hands and coming up and back for your child's pose. Coming over the pillow, or just allowing yourself to melt into the ground. And trying to get your knees as wide as possible. Supported child's pose. Hugging a pillow has got to be one of my favorite restorative postures. So much so I even sleep like this sometimes. Allowing the back of the hips, the base of the spine to reopen. When you're ready, pushing into your hands and coming through to do the other side. So stepping our left foot out to the side, toes pointed, a little bit in that direction, back leg directly out behind you, and then exhaling, coming down wherever's comfortable for you. Noticing where you're locking up or tensing. Maybe you're leaning to the right a little bit more, trying to square the hips, square the shoulders. Finding that edge of the pain, of the discomfort, and breathing through it. Tapping back into that resiliency from yesterday's class. Just when you think you can't get through it, it's amazing what one more deep breath can do. Your next inhale, really visualize taking that breath all the way around the body, releasing all of the muscles, tapping into every bit of tension. And as you exhale, imagine everything just melting away. See if you can feel one more muscle just release. Gently pushing into the palms and setting up for our half pigeon, heel toeing that foot across, left knee to left wrist, right leg out behind you. Inhaling up nice and tall here, and exhaling, melting over. Finding some self-compassion in these postures. Giving yourself permission to just rest and be still. Tapping into whatever breath feels comfortable for you. Personally, I love my Ujjayi breath. Just listening to the sounds of your breath, just like the ocean coming in and out, melting away. And just paying attention to what thoughts keep coming up for you this morning. Are you unable to let go of the week ahead or the week just gone? Are you telling yourself you haven't been productive enough? Have you doubted your own abilities, fed your anxieties? One of the most powerful things we can do is talk with compassion and kindness to ourselves. And just like yoga, that is also a practice. Self-love and self-healing. It's not a linear one-way journey. The Buddha says, what you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. So always try and stop and pause and think, what am I thinking about myself? What reality am I creating? And each day, just try to talk to yourself a little bit kinder, just like you would a best friend. Gently pushing into the palms and finding our half frog on the other side. Slowly coming out of that pose, sending that left knee out to the side, left toes pointing out to the left, and exhaling all the way down. I can't believe I ever used to dislike yin. This is great. Breathing into those hips and exhaling, allowing your pelvis to melt directly into the floor. allowing yourself to just surrender into this pose. Finding whatever breath works here for you. And when you're ready, we're going to push up into our child's pose. Pushing into the hands. You can have your knees wide or tucked in, up to you. And just allowing yourself to roll your hips down and back. If you have your knees together, you're rounding your spine slightly more, allowing that back body to just do its thing. And if the knees come wide, you're sinking that chest even further into the ground. Just noticing what your body craves. Your body might be even craving a bit of movement. So you can come back and forth from your child's if you like. Rocking out those hips, the shoulders, the neck. Or just keeping in stillness. One more final breath here. We'll come up, making our way to easy seat and finding our way into Savasana. Gently coming down onto the mat. Maybe windshield wiping the legs again. Getting into those hips. Massaging the lower back. And just find one last posture that you would like to do here. Maybe it's a supine twist. Or maybe it's happy baby. Maybe it's just hugging the knees into the chest. Or you could just go straight into Savasana. It's completely up to you. I always love to finish on a happy baby. Just allowing the back to melt completely into the mat, top to bottom. Spine long and straight. And then exhaling out to take up as much room as possible. Giving yourself space. And finding your breath, traveling all the way into the diaphragm, bending open, and exhaling to melt and release a little bit more into the mat. Maybe palms up to receive, or palms down if you need a little more grounding. Noticing the breath, tapping into all of the corners of your body. You lay here in your Savasana. I want you to think of one thing that you truly love about yourself. Give yourself gratitude. There's one aspect of your being that you truly like and you treasure. Maybe it's how you make your friends feel. Maybe it's your ability to cook nourishing meals. Or maybe you know you give the best damn hugs. Whatever that one unique, kind bit of your soul, cherish it and know that's yours. As I read these affirmations, you can repeat them out loud or silently in your head, or just allow them to wash over you. Taking a deep breath in. I am enough exactly as I am. Breathe in. I show love, kindness, and compassion everywhere I go. Breathe in. My imperfections make me beautifully human. Inhale. I release the need for perfection and embrace progress. I choose to speak to myself with understanding, love, and kindness. When you're ready, bringing a little bit of movement to your fingers and toes, bringing your attention back to the mat, and gently rolling onto your left side, cuddling yourself in the fetal position. When you're ready, gently pushing yourself up to a seated position. Gently closing the eyes. One more deep breath here. We'll finish the practice by chanting Om and Shanti Shanti. Bringing your hands to heart center. We'll take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your hands to your third eye. May you think kind thoughts. To your lips, may you speak kind words. And to your heart, may you live with kindness. As always, be kind and gentle to yourselves. Namaste.